Alright, here we go.
In what is beginning to feel like a monthly occurrence, Sony has once again brought one of its previously exclusive titles over to the PC. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection bundles both 2016's Uncharted 4: A Thief's End alongside 2017's superior Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. The collection launched for PlayStation 5 earlier this year, bringing with it 4K resolutions and improved frame rates to the original games. This PC release includes a couple of additional features on top of that, such as ultra-wide monitor support and the inclusion of AMD FSR2. Best of all, of course, is the ability to play the game on the Steam Deck, marking this the first time an Uncharted game has been playable on a handheld since 2011's Vita-exclusive Golden Abyss. So, Uncharted on Steam Deck. Is it good? Yes, and also no. It's certainly a feasible way to play these PlayStation classics, but I'm not sure I'd say it's the best way of doing so. Let's talk performance, because that's why we're all here, isn't it? I found that with a hefty bit of tweaking, both Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy can be ran at a solid 30 frames per second with pretty much consistent frame pacing, even during the game's larger levels and more action-packed set pieces. Hardware editor James discovered that the best way of achieving this level of performance was by using these specific settings that are on the screen right now. Suffice to say, the saving grace of this collection is the inclusion of AMD FSR2, an upscaling feature that, thanks to the deck's AMD APU, gives the game that much needed oomph to run with little to no hitches. Of course, as you may have already guessed, the cost of this feature is visual fidelity. AMD FSR2 in balanced mode gives the game a slight Vaseline smear that doesn't look too rough when you're climbing or shooting goons, but is noticeable during cutscenes or whenever you look at Drake's face a bit too closely. Saying that, we found that by setting textures to high, it does offset this a little, but it is still noticeable. The end result is a visual quality that, despite the deck's dinky screen res, doesn't look as crisp as the PlayStation 4 originals. If this port was of the PlayStation 4 version of these games, I reckon we wouldn't be having to make as many compromises. But like Spider-Man Remastered earlier in the year, this is the PlayStation 5 version of this collection. The fact the deck can even run this is a bit of a miracle, but it's a shame to play something that looked astounding 6 years ago when ran on similar hardware struggle here purely because it's a build enhanced for more powerful systems. It is playable though. Very playable. With an unlocked frame rate, both games can flirt with 60 frames per second, but you're looking at an uneven 40 to 50 most of the time, with the game dipping into the low 30s during those busier scenes. Hence why I stuck to 30. Saying that, I locked the refresh rate using the deck's settings, as Uncharted's own frame cap setting tanked performance for reasons neither James or I could work out. It's weird. Don't do it. At 30, the deck's battery will last for around 2.5 hours, a notable improvement compared to the hour and 20 minutes you get from leaving that frame rate uncapped. Also, when you first boot up the game, it will build shaders. This process takes a while, will make your deck run extremely hot, and will tank performance. I recommend the second you get into the game to leave it on pause, let it build those shaders, and then begin. The difference is noticeable. The one major issue at launch, however, is that cutscenes in both games are at best buggy and at worst completely broken. Just watch this.
I hope I don't go to hell for this. Shit. What? It's empty. What?
Now, this doesn't happen all the time, this is the worst it ever looked when I was playing, but pretty much every cutscene does feature at least one graphical mishap involving the character models. I imagine this will get patched fairly quickly, but as of right now, this kind of breaks the immersion. This bug, combined with the slightly fuzzy visuals, makes both games a bit of a slog to play on the deck. Part of the joy of playing a Naughty Dog game, at least for me, is how polished these things are. Lavish and beautiful pieces of entertainment that feel luxurious and expensive. That was easier to appreciate when you played them on the sole platform the games were originally developed for, but here, not so much. I'm playing it on a handheld with a mobile chipset, a system the game was never designed for. That's really cool, but Personally, I'd rather play it on my PC, PlayStation 5, or even PlayStation 4 to get the experience that was intended by the developer. Don't get me wrong, I don't think this is a bad way of playing these games. They're still two of the best action-adventure games ever made, and, you know, being able to play them portably is a bit of a treat. I just maybe wouldn't recommend it if you have the means to play them elsewhere and you've never played them before. Anyway, enough waffling. Here is a chunk of gameplay without any commentary so you can get a better idea of how both games perform for yourself. Enjoy.
I'm done with this auction, huh? Oh yeah, me too.
All right, boys, change of plans. Too many people trying to leave. The driveway's all jammed up.
Shit, what's our backup?
There's that fountain just outside the ballroom. I'll meet you there.
Got it. Let's go. Ah, great.
Someone call for a limo?
Time to go.
Hang on!
Oh, scusi.
You're not supposed to be back here.
Well, neither are you. But I'll tell you what, I won't tell anyone if you don't.
You have something I want, and you're going to give it to me.
Really? Well, I'm flattered, but I'm afraid I'm spoken for. If you'll excuse me.
I'm not in the mood for games. Give me the crucifix.
Lady, you're lucky I'm a gentleman. Because if I weren't, I would...
You'd what?
All right, fine. Just remember, I didn't want to do this.
Let's see what you've got. Don't telegraph so much. Nice try.
I gave you that one. Freebie.
Come here. Now hand me the artifact.
Do you know how many artifacts I've collected over the years? You're gonna need to be more specific.
Let me see if I can clarify.
Long enough.
Pastor says he needs more time to prepare.
Government thinks we're a joke.